Thrive is made possible by the Miracle Channel family and their generous donations.
Wherever there's an incredible value for others, a love for others, that is where people just thrive.
Well, good morning and happy Thursday to you wherever we find you. Welcome to Thrive. I'm David Craig. It's so great for you guys to join us this wonderful morning. Today is the day that the Lord has made, and we can choose to rejoice and be happy in it because God is a good God. He's our provider. He's the one that we can lean on and trust, and we're going to have an awesome time today. So thank you for joining. Just want a couple things, housekeeping items right off the top. Feel free to give us a call. We got the phone number on the bottom. You can reach out to us. We've got our staff standing by to connect with you, to pray with you. If there are things that you're believing God for and you want someone to talk about with, if you want us to stand with you in prayer, let us know what you guys are believing God for. Let us know what you guys are going through. We love the fact that as a Thrive family, as a Miracle Channel family, we can connect with each other from sea to sea here in Canada and believe still together for what God has done for us. Anyways, I'm joined by some wonderful people this morning. Mr. Jeff Thiessen, VP of MCA. How are you,
David,
my friend?
So good to see you.
Welcome
it's so
to
good
Alberta.
To be on the set here, hanging out with the family.
That's right. Welcome to Alberta.
Thank you.
How's your trip been?
Always short and fast. It's always good. Winnipeg and Calgary is not too far away, so that's good.
Well, for those of you who don't know, maybe you're tuning in for the first time, Jeff has extensive history within the Christian television
I'm so
world.
old.
and just TV world and content production, and going all the way back to your parents, Willard and Betty Thiessen, with It's a New Day.
I have a marvelous heritage.
Yes, it is wonderful. The pioneers of Christian television, really, in Canada. And also, Jeff and I have worked closely together for, gosh, we're going on 12, 13, 14 years.
13,
years
14 now.
Okay. We're in that range then, 13, 14 years here at Miracle Channel, and Jeff's the VP at MCA Media Group, and wonderful to work with you. Great. It's our first time actually being on Thrive together.
Love that.
Which is good. How do you feel without Gloria?
I miss her already. I was talking to her this morning. I'm going to be there, and like, I wish I was with you. She's just marvelous.
Yeah. And also my wonderful sister, my favorite. I'm pulling a Jeremy here.
Here I am.
Yeah. Welcome.
Finally.
Wonderful mom of three. Pastor extraordinaire. Whenever she gets on stage and preaches the word, there's like almost literal fire that comes out of her. Anyways, love you. So glad you're on the show.
Thank you.
How are you?
I was going to say, I have a personal. You've got the business side, and Jeff was my best friend's dad growing up, so he knows me. He knows the bad stories about me
only
growing
good.
up.
Only good.
All the rascal.
Was there some? You and Jessica?
We were probably pretty tame.
Yes, yeah.
Pretty tame. Lovely, lovely girls.
Yeah.
So, how's that Alberta treating you, Michala?
Wonderful. It's great to come back and see family.
Good.
Our kids are just all obsessed with being with each other. So I think the plane ride back to Winnipeg, my kids are already like, I don't want to go back.
Oh, no.
My cousins are here. So
That's so sweet.
We'll see.
Give
I
us
got to bribe
an
them.
update on your kids. I want to hear all about them.
Rosie's 6.
Yes.
Harvey is 4. And little Leo is 5 months. And they are all obsessed with each other, which is very fun. Leo's new thing is sticking his tongue out at strangers for a solid 1 minute with no breaking eye contact.
Here, you got a picture on screen of your sweet little family.
So, and then Austin as well, my husband, he works for
AKA
Miracle Channel
Trick
for
Daddy.
a while, Trick Daddy. He, you can pray for him. He lost his championship hockey game last night, so.
So by you saying that, are you putting the blame on him for losing the game, or was it a team effort, or did he mess it up?
They have to work as a team. They got to work as a team. And
he plays with my son-in-law, and we had, like, I am all into it. I'm watching, I'm there at all kinds of games and loving it.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's really exciting hockey.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's
better than the NHL.
It is actually, because you're like, come on, go, and you're a lot more into it.
My goodness, okay, if they have fans, we're doing something wrong here, because our Zambronis, we have a hockey team here, our men's league, the Zambronis, which
Awesome.
I say I'm on the team. I actually didn't play one game this year, even though I was an assistant captain.
Okay.
I started the team a while ago, and Dallas has since a friend of mine's taken it over, and anyways, I didn't get out. But what the joke is, like, we never get people out to our games because they're like 9 p.m., 10 p.m.
Oh,
but the joke is whenever a guy on the team gets a girlfriend, the girlfriend starts to show up, the only person in the stands. But as soon as if they make it and they get married, she stops coming. It's like, as soon as you're married, the wife stopped coming.
They got to
to the
start
games.
putting it in the vows. Make that a legal binding contract.
Yeah, exactly. Before we get into a couple things, we want to highlight what today's Devoted is and talk about God's Word a bit and what's going on here. But I want to highlight the bundle that we have for you, the package that we love being able to get into your hands as we're moving into the month of May. Summer's around the corner. You know, every single month our team puts a lot of hard work into different things that we can get into your hands to help you walk with your relationship with God, a way to get into not only Devoted, but find out different packages and different themes that we are looking through. We know that if you dive in and you spend time with God every day, that is truly how your life is going to transform and change when you're bringing. I love how it says in Isaiah that when we draw near to God, God will always draw near to us. And we're here to help you with that, not only through television, but want to get things like this into your hands. So you can go on, the information will come up on the screen here in just a second, showing how you can do it, or give us a call and ask our staff about how we can get that if you do not already have it. All right, that's out of the way. Before we dive into maybe a bit of the word,
hold
Jeff.
on. We can camp on that just a bit.
Let's do it.
Because, like you said, it was out of the way. There's people right now that their lives could completely change if they actually said yes and said, yeah, I'm going to take you up on that.
Yeah.
Because that material is fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I just want people to know at home, you need to spend time with God. You need to actually be saying, God, what do you want out of me today?
Yeah.
Great way to focus.
Totally.
Yeah.
Great way for them to be part of a family here, but also for them to grow in God. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to say it, emphasize it a bit. Make sure you take David up on that. It's a
Yeah.
great offer. You guys should really
And also, when you go through it, it's such a great resource to pass on. Like, we had our Springs
For
College
sure.
in Calgary, and we did feeding the homeless. We made sandwiches and granola bars, and we put Devoteds in every bag. And our team got to pray over some of the homeless, give them resources to show, like, God hasn't forgotten about you.
Amen. Totally.
So,
Exactly.
yeah,
Well,
be encouraged.
It's there's been this book I've been really involved with lately, and it's following the life of a monk in the 12th and 13th century.
Oh,
but not
that sounds
not
fun.
like a Buddhist monk, like you're talking about, like what Christian monks were, and the dedication that they had. Like their entire life was dedicated to the pursuit of getting to know God through commitment to prayer, commitment to the Word, commitment to worship, commitment to confession. There's all these commitments that they did that was disciplines. And there's this one sentence that stuck with me, and I'm forgetting the guy's specific name right now, but it's about practicing the presence of God. And that was...
That's not Oswald's book, is it?
No, it's not Oswald's book. But it's this idea that the presence of God isn't just some thing that all randomly falls on you because God decides to grace you with his presence all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But there's ways that we can actually practice the presence of God in terms of the disciplines that we cultivate in our life, which bring us... God, if you believe in Jesus, I want to clarify this, that God's Spirit lives within you, is that we are with God. Yeah. But there is a way that we can draw near to God and that we can live, and as Jesus said in John, abide with him.
Yeah.
And I think through really the disciplines, and what you're saying, Jeff, I thank you for stopping and saying that, because this stuff can really change your life. Your habits, your disciplines can really change the direction of your life, the relationship that you have with God. Not that God has withdrawn or is leaving you, but the fact that you are drawing near to him and that you're getting to know him through his word. And this is a great one. I'm not saying this, I just realized my name is on it. Usually it's Jeremy or Eden or Pastor Zach or something, but this one's probably the best one ever made, I'm going to say. But this one is all about cultivating attitude, and it's got several confessions on it showing you what God's word says about the idea of gratitude. It's got a workbook from one of my sermons, A Grateful Heart, and it goes through key points on how we can stay in gratitude, how we can stay in thankfulness. And we all know that's a key to living life, is being able to stay. So, yeah, as Jeff said, take us up on the offer. Call us if you don't have it. Plus, Devoted. Devoted's just an absolute classic. Not classic, it gets renewed every single month or year.
We use it. Yeah, we do it every time. So, yeah,
anyway,
for sure.
Jeff and Michala, I want to get into a little bit for the next 5 minutes what's been going on at MCA Media Group. I know we are post-election as of Monday. Today's Thursday. Moving forward, and some of the dreams we have in our heart, maybe let's start with Miracle Channel and Rogers and some of the breakthrough. Can you take us through maybe a little bit of that history and what that means for our distribution?
Well, as the viewers who've followed Miracle Channel all these years, and literally it's so fun to in my mind, go back to the beginning. Miracle Channel is just a gift from the Lord. It was one of those moments where the CRTC said, yeah, we're going to license the very first Christian television station. And so when it comes down to that, viewers will know this has been a hard-fought battle from day one. From day one, they limited it, the station just to Lethbridge. Then then they went on to Medicine Hat, and then added a few more. And then there was other breakthroughs in the 2000s where they went on satellite across the country. But every single year, we've all been saying, okay, there's going to be another breakthrough, and that's going to be with Rogers. That's their biggest cable company in the country. And David, we got a phone call just a little bit ago, and this is through your prayers at home. Both of us believing, standing in the gap for it, but literally we got a surprise call saying, Rogers just called saying they're interested finally. This is knocking on the door so many times.
That's amazing.
So we're super pumped about that. That's going to be happening this month sometime. And so Miracle Channel will be on more people's homes. So you'll be able to call up your friends and family in different parts of the country and say, hey, turn on Miracle Channel. That's going to be great.
That's amazing breakthrough, as it's been a long time in the making.
Long time.
I wanted to start there because Miracle Channel is continuing to do what God's called us to do, and we're going to help Canada. We are Canadian born and bred, and we love the fact that we can get the gospel out to the world, which is wonderful. Like that's a huge answer to prayer, if you look at all the years of work we've been doing too. So anyways, if you want to tend to some matters, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah.
100%. Just go. This is the casualist of the show. Do you want to? I can
I was just going to close the door.
Oh.
He's fine.
What we're talking about is this is how we do it here with families. Michaela's got little Leo. He's just sleeping in the other room, but he's woken up.
He's
so
you
do what you need to do. You come and go as it is.
Perfect.
Might be my fault.
Do you remember the show when Jeremy Tamara, one of their childcare fell through, and Bailey was on the show? And randomly she goes, my mommy has a baby in her tummy.
No way.
This is come on, 3 months
and
ago or 4 months ago.
It wasn't true. We were like, we promise we're not lying.
Yeah. She was literally just kind of in her own world and randomly just blurts out something on Jeremy Tamara's reaction was so funny.
So
was it?
Because they were just
great.
caught off guard, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that came out of
Live
Billy's
television,
mouth.
you gotta love it.
Yeah, it's so good. But so that's amazing. Miracle Channel. So if you do, if you're watching Rogers, you're not watching right now, but if you know people that have Rogers and formerly Shaw in Western Canada, you're going to be seeing Miracle Channel go across that this month, which is going to be unbelievable. Like we're so happy for that, and also for Canadian ministries and those that want to continue to grow and move forward. That also helps the gospel get out from those ministries to where they're at. So,
and some people may say, "Hey, listen, we can get it online." Well, you know what? There's a lot of people that just sit at home and they're going click, click, click. Still, to this day, I think I heard the stat. There's 55% of Canadian homes still have cable. So it's not like everybody doesn't, but 55% do. And 55% of those people, a lot of them are just looking and searching for content. And I know so many stories. So many have called and basically said, you know what? I didn't know the Lord, but I was clicking and something that caught me where a preacher was really proclaiming the word of the Lord. And I said, I need that. So, this is a way of reaching out to 55% of the homes across this country. And that's a lot of homes.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people that need the Lord.
Yeah.
Well, that's
especially
great.
right now. So,
Michala, I want to switch directions because you have been very much involved in Springs, Winnipeg, and as our whole family has, but you've been living there the last several years. Maybe talk us through a little bit some of the work that you do through there. And I have a direction I want to go with. I want to hear first. Maybe tell everyone what you have been up to and what life has looked like for you there.
I have predominantly worked with youth and young adults my entire career. So since I got hired on at, I believe I was 20 or 21. So youth ministry, young adults ministry is where my heart is. So I've done that here in Calgary. I've done that in Winnipeg. A bit of a transition now is like helping oversight both sites, and then also working with our Springs College, which is like a leadership biblical 9-month program for 18 to 25-year-old students, which is really cool. I love seeing the fruit. I love this generation because I often think people look at the generation and they just go, just give them till they're 25, then they'll come to the Lord and, get everything out of their system. But I mean, Dad, who started all this really put into us, like, why do we have that expectation, right? Like, why not train them from the beginning of wisdom? What's God's wisdom? What's his values? And show them that they can just have an incredible life with God that is fun, that is blessed, that is incredible, that you don't have to have a fun life without God. It's actually more fun and more pleasure with God because you're not reaping the consequences of, bad choices. So that's where we've been at. And so that's literally what I could see myself doing for the rest of my life. If they let me do it when I'm 80 years old and I'm still hip enough to hang out with youth and young adults.
If anyone will be hip enough,
I love
it'll
it.
be you.
Yeah,
Can you imagine Michala with less of a filter? When she's old Michala, just no filter left anymore. Well, okay, I highly recommend Springs College and that type of thing.
Yes,
I went through it. You went through it. I think it's foundational before people, if they go into university, before you're going into university, and especially the state of universities, to help get established and grounded into God's word. Yeah. And I think it helps actually propel people
There's
forward.
actually a lot of studies, too, about the importance of a gap year. Harvard put it out, of like 18-year-olds having that 1 year after graduating to just actually solidify who they are, their beliefs before going to university. They're actually more successful in university. So it's even cool to see how that kind of follows. They're not saying because of God, but, God's in everything, which is cool.
What are you seeing, what are you sensing also in emerging generations of youth that are becoming adults, and even in youth? Because Winnipeg has a large youth, and you see a lot of kids that some are churchgoers, some are not, some are just friends, some are being dragged along. Yeah. What are you seeing in terms of the sense of young people when it comes to the idea of religion, or specifically Jesus and that? Like, I know it's a big question, but
they are way more open to it than people think. I think people just think it's over their heads and they're not into it. But I found, for me, if these youth feel noticed, valued, and most importantly, listened to, they're very receptive of it. I think something that I took away from how I was brought up was every time I went to my mom and dad about questions, or maybe I did something that I kind of had to fess up about, I was never met with judgment. I was always met with grace first. That didn't mean I didn't have any consequences, but they wanted to make sure my heart was good first before bringing the consequences. And that gave me the freedom and trust to always come to them and feel like even if I did the worst thing imaginable, I knew I could go to my parents. It didn't mean there wouldn't be a consequence, but I knew and I felt safe that I wasn't going to be attacked. My character wasn't going to be questioned. I wasn't going to be yelled at. Yeah. And so I brought that into what I do, and I find youth are so receptive of that, because it's not like, oh man, why did you make that stupid decision again? It's like, okay, so like, what made you make that decision? Like, how did it play out for you? And then I'm able to kind of bring the word in. God says we should handle it this way, and it's not because you're bad. Like, hey, all of us have flesh. We want to, we all want to react or do something negative, but when you take the moment to know, hey, God says to try it this way, you actually see more positive out of that. It might feel uncomfortable at first, or not, the normal reaction. And I find that they're so receptive to that. They just want someone to care about them. Yeah. And I find, I think there's a lie right now that this generation's just not into God. And I think more than ever, when I look at churches around Canada, you're seeing a lot of young adults coming together, rallying and wanting to step up in God's word. Wow. And it's really cool to see, because this generation's not lost. They're just looking for people to believe in them, and I think raise the bar for them of hey, you're good. Come in, help lead us.
Well, I think, just to brag on you and the whole youth team at Springs, and also actually all youth leaders across Canada, you guys have the toughest job out of the whole church sphere. If you're thinking of what people have to do inside the idea of how to build church, that's the toughest job. Whenever I get asked in Calgary, can you come talk to the youth? I'm like so intimidated because I still up here, I still feel like I'm 20 years old.
Totally.
But every time when I show up, I reminded I'm not 20 or 15 years old anymore, and it's so different because there's a different language that goes along with it, and there's different ways to relate, and being able to keep up to relate, but still show them the beauty and the wonder and the power of God's word in their life. Like that is a challenging. It's easy to speak to adults. Yeah. It's easy to talk to Christians that have been Christians for a while and teach the word and go that way, but to be able to make it applicable and then also be there for the real stuff that they're going through and the stuff they're dealing with at home and the hard questions they have. I had I'll tell you a little story. 3 weeks ago, I had a girl who's just coming into youth. I'm not involved with youth except for seeing them at church and whatever. And this sweet little girl, she's probably 12, 13. So she's coming out just for grade 6ers, I guess. Is that what we call it? Yeah. Into grade 7. And she comes up and she like literally taps me on the shoulder. And she goes, "Can I ask you a couple questions?" Because I'm one of the pastors at Calgary. I'm like, "Yeah, of course." So we step aside and her parents are over there. And she asked me really heavy questions. Like I thought these kids would never be. Number one was she goes, "My mom and I disagree about how you get to heaven." And she starts asking about how good a person is and how come good people go to hell. And so she was going through that. And then she started talking about is being gay a sin? And then she wanted like, what does that mean? And but this is deep stuff that's not like a casual conversation. But I was I probably chatted with her for 25 minutes because it was so sweet and told her she can come ask any. But seeing these young kids and what they're exposed to, like when I was 12, I didn't have a phone until I was 18 years old, I think, or 17 years old, or a cell phone, right? Really, that you had access, and nothing like you have today. But that's why this type of thing is so vital. And I would even say for parents and kids and youth, I would, like my mom and dad made it mandatory for me to go. Yeah. Even when I didn't want to go. Totally. It was mandatory to go. Same. And we grew up in church, but I think the importance of that is, anyways, how do you see parents handling, because it's our age now that have kids that are in youth group and moving that.
I think it's true. I think like the fact that they have these devices, like their upbringing is so different than ours. Like I would be at a friend's house. We had no connection to anyone else. It was like, we're in this moment. Teenagers' moment is always distracted. They've got people online on this platform, on that platform. They've got all of anything they want to search, they can search at any time. And so I would say, putting like maybe some parameters on how often they can have their phone, especially at bedtime.
As a grandpa? It'd be a little
especially
more than
at night. I know one family in particular, they take all the phones at nighttime. They plug them in on the kitchen counter. No one gets it in the room by themselves. I think that's super smart.
Do you think kids should have devices? Like as a grandpa,
I don't personally.
I don't know when I would even encourage it.
I feel like it's like a car. Like it's like one thing I notice is like bullying, for example. If you're at school and you get bullied, it's like at least you can come home and feel safe. Exactly. Now even home's not safe with their device, and they don't know. Yes, we could say just delete the app, but none of them do because it's their social thing, right? So it's like they don't know how to make that wise decision. So the parent coming in and helping with them.
Well, it's very tough if you've allowed it already in the home and they have that is their social connection through Snapchat or whatever. Totally. And then you try to withdraw that back. Yeah. That is much tougher than if you have kids that are starting to get to that age and just having extremely strict or limited use or no use until a specific time, right?
On that point, I know a parent who they make their house the party house for teenagers. Yeah. If you want your friends over, come over. I'm going to make this the party house, which I love. And he doesn't make it a requirement for people to leave their phones, but he puts a big bowl on the table and he says, hey, if you're hanging out at my house, put your phone in here. It's here. If you get a call, you can take it. But let's just be present in the time. And then he tries to make it as fun and engaging for them as possible. And that's just such a cool idea. I think there's always things you can try. Sometimes we think, it's too late. Yeah. But it's not. It's not too late. And your teen will eventually thank you for it, even if they, it's like my toddlers. They want candy, they cry because I'm not giving it to them. But like, it's the best decision for them. And one day they will thank me.
I think there's viewers that are watching right now, and they're saying to themselves, I've got grandchildren or I got children, and they'd love to hear from you as far as, speaking faith and hope to them, because some of them have really, they're losing their kids.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine how hard that would be.
Yeah.
But Jesus is there for us, right?
Yeah.
Is there something you could say to them that just to give them hope?
Yeah, I would say always just meet them with grace. That doesn't mean not having a consequence, but if a child feels like my parents have lost hope in me because I've messed up, there isn't really any reason for them to want to change. Even their closest connection is now looking at them being like, well, aren't you just a dumb kid? Like, wait, go grow up, whatever they say. But if you take time to sit down, like I think even like my parents taking the time of just like, hey, like what's going on with your friendship circle? And like maybe don't make it about them. Like, oh, what's going on with your friends? And if they share like, oh, my friend's fighting with this person. Oh, really? Like, what did you say to them? Like, what was your, you know what I mean? Like get the dialogue going of just getting into their world. Maybe not just like, hey, what happened today? But hey, anything happened today that made you sad? And then take it like, I know sometimes we think, oh man, teens are dramatic. They don't really know what's going on in life. Like, wait till they're an adult and actually go through things. But this is their life. And so even though to us we're like, well, we were there, it gets better, whatever. This is all that they have and know right now. So how can you be an aid in that? Yeah. And how can you also make God's word not feel like a religious slap every time? Don't use it to slap them. Use it to comfort them. Yeah. Hey, this is hard. God says that even in the pain, if you just hold on to his word, like he can give you a peace at school. He can give you a confidence at school. I always go back to identity with teenagers because that's all they're searching for.
So good.
And so it's like, hey, do you want to walk down the hallways with a confidence, not because the cute guy got your phone number or the cool girls invited you for lunch, but just because you feel confident that, hey, even if I don't fit in with that group, that doesn't mean I'm not valuable. That doesn't mean anything. Yeah. And I think it's just being present. Just keep showing up. Bring them to a life-giving youth group. If people are choosing...
I'm going to have to shut you down.
Okay.
We have 5 seconds left.
Okay.
You're
Bring
so
them to
good.
church.
Keep watching. We'll be back with more. See you guys back here at Thrive tomorrow. God bless.
Thrive is only made possible by the generous donations of people like you. 100% of your donation goes towards ministry efforts. Call today and make a significant impact in the lives of Canadians. Through your financial investment, you are a missionary to the world. Phone lines will remain open for a limited time. Connect with us now by calling 1-800-815-6513 or visit miraclechannel.ca/thrive to leave your comments, prayer requests, and praise reports. Together, let's thrive.